Vagina Workshop. My vagina is a shell, a round, pink, tender shell, opening and closing, closing and opening. My vagina is a flower, an eccentric tulip, the center acute and deep, the scent delicate, the flowers gentle but sturdy. I did not always know this. I learned this in the Vagina Workshop. I learned this from the woman who runs the Vagina Workshop, a woman who believes in the vagina, who really sees vaginas, who helps other women see their own vaginas by seeing other women's vaginas. In the first session, the woman who runs the Vagina Workshop asked us to draw a picture of our own unique, beautiful, fabulous vagina. That's what she called it. She wanted us to know what our own unique, beautiful, fabulous vagina looked like to us. One woman who was pregnant drew a big red mouth, screaming with coins spilling out. Another very skinny woman drew a big serving plate with a kind of Devonshire pattern on it. I drew a huge black dot with little squiggly lines around it. The black dot was equal to the black hole in space, and the squiggly lines were meant to be people or things or just the basic atoms that got lost there. I had always thought of my vagina as an analytical vacuum randomly sucking up particles and objects from surrounding environment. I did not think of my vagina in practical or biological terms. I did not know, for example, see it as something attached to me. In the workshop, we were asked to look at our vaginas with hand mirrors. Then, after careful examination, we were to verbally report to the group what we saw. I must tell you that until this point, everything I knew about my vagina was based on hearsay or invention. I'd never actually really seen the thing. It had never occurred to me to look at it. My vagina existed for me on some abstract plane. It seemed so reductive and awkward looking at it like we were in the workshop on our shiny blue mats with our hand mirrors. It reminded me of how the early astronomers must have felt with their primitive telescopes. I found it quite unsettling at first, my vagina. Like the first time you see a fish cut open and you discover the other bloody complex world inside, right under the skin. It was so raw, red, so fresh, and the thing that surprised me most was all the layers. Layers inside layers, opening into more layers. My vagina amazed me. I couldn't speak. When it came my turn in workshop, I was speechless. I had awakened to what the woman running the workshop called vagina wonder. I just wanted to lay there on the mat, my legs spread, examining my vagina forever. It was better than the Grand Canyon, ancient and full of grace. orgasms. Two women attentively raised their hands. I didn't raise my hand, but I had orgasms. I didn't raise my hand because they were accidental orgasms. They happened to me, they happened in my dreams, and I would wake in splendor. They happened a lot in water, mostly in the bath, once in Cape Cod. They happened on horses, on bicycles, sometimes on treadmill in the gym. I did not raise my hand because although I had orgasms, I did not know how to make them happen. I thought it was a mystical, magical thing. I didn't want to interfere. It felt wrong getting involved. I tried, manipulative. It felt Hollywood. The surprise would be gone. The mystery, the problem, of course, was that the surprise had been gone for 2 years. I hadn't had a magical, accidental orgasm in a long time, and I was frantic. That's why I was in the Vagina Workshop. Then, the moment had arrived that I both dreaded and longed for. The woman who ran the workshop asked us to take out our hand mirrors again and see if we could locate our clitoris. There we were, the group of us women, on our backs, on our mats, searching for our spots, our locus, our reason. I didn't know why, but I started crying. Maybe it was sheer embarrassment. Maybe it was knowing what I had to give up the fantasy, the enormous, life-consuming fantasy that someone or something was going to do this for me. The fantasy that someone was coming to lead my life, to choose direction, to give me orgasms. I could feel the panic coming, the simultaneous terror and realization that I had avoided finding my clitoris, had rationalized it as mainstream and consumerist because I was in fact terrorized that I did not have a clitoris, terrified that I was one of those constitutionally incapables, one of those rigid, dead, shut down, dry, apricot tasting, bitter, oh my God! I lay there with my mirror, looking for my spot, reaching with my fingers, and all I could think about was the time when I was 10 and lost my gold ring with the emeralds in the lake. How I kept diving over and over to the bottom of the lake, running my hands over stones and fish, bottle caps and slimy stuff, but never my ring. The panic I felt, I knew I'd be punished. The woman who ran the workshop saw my insane scrambling, sweating, and heavy breathing. She came over. I told her, it's gone. It's gone. I've lost my clitoris. I shouldn't have worn it swimming. The woman who ran the workshop laughed. She calmly stroked my forehead floating above myself, I watched as I slowly began to approach myself and re-enter. It felt like an astronaut re-entering the surface of the earth. It was very quiet, this re-entry, quite gentle. I bounced and landed and bounced. I came into my own muscles and blood and cells, and then I slipped into my vagina. It was suddenly easy and I fit. It was all warm and pulsing and ready and young and alive. And then, without looking, with my eyes still closed, I put my finger on what had suddenly become me. There was this little quivering at first, which urged me to stay. Then the quivering became a quake, an eruption, the layers dividing and subdividing. The quaking broke open into an ancient horizon of light and silence, which opened into a plain of music and colors and innocence and longing, and I felt connection, calling connection, as I lay there, thrashing about on my little blue bed. My vagina is a shell, a tulip, and a destiny. I am arriving as I am beginning to leave.